Ladies, if you have an apple shape with a larger tummy and shorter legs, certain blouses are sabotaging your silhouette every single day. I'm revealing 17 specific styles that are adding pounds and years to your appearance. Number 12 will absolutely shock you. It's in everyone's closet. Item 1. Skin tight-fitted blouses that cling everywhere. The biggest mistake I see apple-shaped women making is choosing blouses that cling to every curve, especially around the midsection. These skin-tight styles create an unflattering silhouette that emphasizes exactly what you're trying to minimize, your tummy and lower belly area. When fabric stretches across your torso, it creates horizontal tension lines that draw the eye directly to your widest point. Think of those ribbed knit tops or jersey blouses that mold to your body like a second skin. They might feel comfortable, but they're doing nothing for your proportions. The problem is compounded when you're shorter, because tight-fitting blouses can make your torso appear even more compressed. Rather than creating a smooth line from shoulder to hip, these clingy styles create bumps and bulges that interrupt the visual flow. Celebrities like Oprah and Queen Latifah, both apple shapes, are never seen in skin-tight blouses. They understand that a slight ease in fit creates a more elegant, sophisticated silhouette. What works better? Blouses with gentle draping that skims your body rather than hugging it. The fabric should touch your body at the shoulders and bust, then fall away slightly through the torso. This creates a flattering A-line shape that minimizes your midsection while maintaining a polished appearance. Brands like Eileen Fisher and Chico's specialize in this type of flattering fit for mature women. The key is finding that sweet spot between too tight and too loose. You want the blouse to follow your body's natural line without clinging or adding bulk. Quality fabrics with a bit of structure, like ponte knits or crepe, will maintain their shape while providing the gentle drape you need. Item 2. Boxy oversized button-downs that add bulk. On the opposite extreme, those shapeless, oversized button-down shirts are equally problematic for apple shapes. While you might think loose equals flattering, boxy styles actually add visual weight and make you appear larger than you are. The issue with oversized button-downs is they eliminate your waistline entirely. When there's no shape definition, your body appears as one continuous rectangle from shoulders to hips. This is particularly unflattering if you have shorter legs because it makes your torso appear disproportionately large. Traditional men's style button-downs are the worst offenders. They're cut straight through the body with no waist shaping, creating that dreaded tent effect. The excess fabric pools around your midsection, adding bulk exactly where you don't want it. Even worse, when you try to tuck these oversized shirts into pants or skirts, you create additional bulk around your waistline. The gathered fabric creates an unflattering pouch effect that emphasizes your tummy area. A smarter choice, button-downs with subtle waist shaping or princess seams. These create structure without being tight, giving you a polished look that flatters your apple shape while maintaining comfort and sophistication. Look for styles with side seams that curve in slightly at the waist. This creates definition without being restrictive. The best button-downs for apple shapes have a slight taper through the waist and hit at the perfect length, just covering your hip bone. This creates a streamlined silhouette that's both professional and flattering. Brands like J. Jill and Talbot's offer excellent options with the right proportions for mature apple shapes. Item 3. Cropped blouses that cut you in half. Cropped blouses are absolutely devastating for apple shapes with shorter legs. These styles literally cut your body in half at the widest point, creating an unflattering proportion that makes your legs appear even shorter while emphasizing your midsection. The cropped trend might look cute on tall, lean figures, but on apple shapes, it creates a visual disaster. When your blouse ends at your natural waist or just below, it draws a horizontal line across your body at exactly the wrong spot, your tummy area. This horizontal line becomes even more problematic when you're wearing high-waisted pants or skirts. The combination creates a cutting effect that makes your torso appear shorter and wider while making your legs look disproportionately small. The psychological impact is significant too. When you're constantly tugging at a too short blouse or feeling exposed around your midsection, it affects your confidence and posture. You end up hunching or trying to hide, which only makes the proportion issues worse. Before we continue with these crucial styling mistakes, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. I share specific advice for apple shapes and women over 50 every week. Your confidence transformation starts with knowing what works for your body, and I'm here to guide you through every style decision. Item 4. Empire waist blouses that emphasize your belly. Empire waist blouses seem like they should be flattering for apple shapes, but they're actually one of the worst choices you can make. The high waistline sits right under your bust, then flows out over your tummy area, creating the unfortunate impression that you're pregnant. The problem with empire waists is they eliminate any waist definition you might have while drawing attention to your midsection. The gathered fabric under the bust creates volume exactly where apple shapes need to minimize it. These styles are particularly unflattering if you carry weight in your lower belly area. The flowing fabric doesn't skim over this area. It tents out from your bust line, creating a triangular silhouette that adds visual weight to your torso. Even worse, empire waist blouses often make your bust appear larger and your waist non-existent. This throws off your entire proportion, making you appear top-heavy and shapeless. The better approach, blouses with a defined waistline that sits at your natural waist or slightly below. This creates a more balanced silhouette that flatters your apple shape. Consider wrap-style blouses that tie at the side rather than centre front, or blouses with subtle gathering at the waist that creates shape without adding bulk. The most flattering waistline for apple shapes hits about an inch below your natural waist, creating gentle definition without emphasising your widest point. Look for blouses with subtle waist seaming or gentle gathering that creates shape without adding bulk. Item 5. Peplum blouses that add hip width. Peplum blouses might seem like a good choice for creating waist definition, but they're actually problematic for apple shapes, especially those with shorter legs. The flared fabric at the hip level adds width exactly where you don't need it while creating an unflattering proportion. The issue with peplums is they create a horizontal line at your hip level, which can make your legs appear even shorter. When you have an apple shape with shorter legs, you need to create vertical lines that elongate your silhouette, not horizontal ones that cut you off. Additionally, peplum styles often emphasize the contrast between your larger midsection and your hips. If you don't have naturally curvy hips, the peplum can look forced and unnatural, like you're trying too hard to create curves that aren't there. The structured nature of most peplum blouses also tends to be unforgiving around the midsection. The fitted bodice can create pulling and stretching across your tummy area, while the flared bottom draws attention to the transition point. Try this alternative: blouses with a gentle A-line shape that flows naturally from the bust without the structured peplum flare. This creates a more organic, flattering silhouette that skims your body beautifully while still providing some waist definition. Item 6. High-low hem blouses that create visual confusion. High-low hem blouses create visual chaos for apple shapes with shorter legs. The uneven hemline draws attention to your midsection while creating an unflattering proportion that makes your legs appear even shorter than they are. The problem with high-low hems is they create multiple horizontal lines across your body. The shorter front hem creates one line, while the longer back hem creates another. This visual interruption is particularly problematic for shorter women because it breaks up your silhouette in an unflattering way. When you have an apple shape, you want clean, simple lines that create a streamlined silhouette. High-low hems do the opposite. They create visual interest in all the wrong places while adding complexity that doesn't flatter your body type. The longer back hem can also create an unflattering tail effect, especially when you're sitting or walking. This draws attention to your backside while creating an unbalanced look from all angles. Go for this option: blouses with even hemlines that hit at a flattering point on your body. A straight hem that falls just below your hip bone creates the most flattering silhouette for apple shapes. This length elongates your legs while providing coverage for your midsection. Item 7. Horizontal striped blouses that widen your frame. Ladies, we need to talk about horizontal stripes because this is where so many apple-shaped women go wrong. I know you've heard no horizontal stripes before, but let me explain exactly why they're particularly devastating for our body type. Horizontal stripes create visual width across your torso, making your midsection appear larger and wider than it actually is. When you have an apple shape with a fuller tummy, horizontal stripes emphasize this area by drawing the eye across your widest point. The effect is even more pronounced with bold, contrasting stripes. Think navy and white or black and white stripes. These create strong horizontal lines that literally expand your silhouette. Your eye follows these lines from side to side, making you appear broader through the middle. Thin horizontal stripes aren't much better. While they might seem more subtle, they still create that widening effect, especially when the fabric stretches across your tummy area. The stripes can distort and create an unflattering optical illusion. Even celebrities with apple shapes avoid horizontal stripes. You'll never see Adele or Melissa McCarthy in bold horizontal stripes because their stylists understand how unflattering they can be. Here's what to choose: vertical stripes, diagonal patterns, or solid colours that create a more streamlined silhouette. These create length rather than width, which is exactly what apple shapes need. If you love stripes, look for thin vertical pinstripes or diagonal patterns that create movement without widening your frame. The science behind this is fascinating. Horizontal lines literally trick the eye into seeing width, while vertical lines create the illusion of height and length. For apple shapes with shorter legs, this visual trickery can be the difference between looking frumpy and looking fabulous. Item 8. Clingy jersey knit blouses that show everything. Jersey knit blouses might feel comfortable, but they're one of the worst fabric choices for apple shapes. The stretchy, clingy nature of jersey fabric shows every bump, bulge and curve, creating an unflattering silhouette that emphasises your tummy area. The problem with jersey knits is they have no structure or support. They mould to your body like a second skin, highlighting areas you'd rather minimise. When you have a fuller midsection, jersey fabric clings to every curve, creating an unflattering outline. Jersey knits also tend to stretch out throughout the day, becoming even more clingy and shapeless as you wear them. What might start as a reasonably fitted blouse can become a stretched out mess that does nothing for your silhouette. The lightweight nature of most jersey fabrics also means they don't drape well. Rather than skimming over your body gracefully, they cling and pull in unflattering ways, especially around your tummy and lower belly area. The fabric solution: structured fabrics like cotton poplin, silk crepe, or ponte knits that have more body and structure. These fabrics skim your silhouette without clinging, creating a more polished and flattering appearance. Ponte knits offer the comfort of jersey with much better structure and recovery. The key is finding fabrics with enough weight and structure to maintain their shape while still being comfortable. Look for blends that include a small percentage of spandex for comfort, but avoid anything that's primarily stretchy material. Item 9. Sheer blouses that require layering. Sheer blouses create multiple problems for apple shapes. First, they require layering, which adds bulk to your midsection. Second, the transparency can create unflattering shadows and highlights that draw attention to areas you'd rather minimise. When you layer a camisole or tank top under a sheer blouse, you're essentially wearing two tops, which adds visual and physical bulk to your torso. This is particularly problematic for apple shapes because it makes your midsection appear larger and more prominent. The layering also creates additional lines and seams that can be unflattering. The edge of your undergarment creates a horizontal line across your body, while the sheer overlay adds another layer of visual complexity. Sheer fabrics also tend to be lightweight and clingy, which means they don't provide the structure and support that apple shapes need. They often cling to your undergarments, creating an unflattering outline that shows every detail. The cleaner approach: opaque fabrics that can stand alone. This creates a cleaner, more streamlined silhouette that's much more flattering for your apple shape. Look for blouses in silk, cotton, or blended fabrics that have enough opacity to eliminate the need for layering. If you love the look of sheer fabrics, look for blouses with strategic opacity. Perhaps sheer sleeves with an opaque body, or subtle sheer panels that don't require full layering underneath. Item 10. Ruffled front blouses that add volume. Ruffled front blouses are particularly unflattering for apple shapes because they add volume and visual weight exactly where you don't want it, across your chest and tummy area. The ruffles create texture and dimension that draws attention to your midsection. The problem with ruffles is they create shadows and depth that can make your torso appear larger and more prominent. When you have a fuller midsection, the last thing you want is additional volume in that area. Ruffles also tend to stick out from your body, creating an unflattering silhouette that adds inches to your frame. This is particularly problematic if you have a larger bust, as the ruffles can make your chest appear even more prominent. The horizontal nature of most ruffle designs also creates width across your torso, which is unflattering for apple shapes. You want to create vertical lines that elongate your silhouette, not horizontal ones that widen it. What flatters instead? Blouses with clean, simple fronts that create a streamlined silhouette. Subtle details like princess seams or minimal pleating can add interest without overwhelming your frame. If you love texture, look for blouses with subtle jacquard patterns or interesting weaves that add visual interest without bulk. Item 11. Mock turtleneck blouses that shorten your neck. Mock turtlenecks are particularly unflattering for apple shapes with shorter legs because they create a high horizontal line that shortens your neck and makes your torso appear even more compressed. The high neckline of a mock turtleneck cuts off your neck visually, making you appear shorter and more compact overall. When you already have shorter legs, this proportion becomes even more unflattering. Mock turtlenecks also tend to be fitted through the body, which can emphasize your midsection while providing no waist definition. The combination of the high neckline and fitted body creates an unflattering column effect. The fabric around the neck area can also add bulk and weight to your upper body, making your shoulders and chest appear broader while shortening your neckline. Consider these necklines V-necks or scoop necklines that elongate your neck and create a more flattering proportion for your apple shape. These necklines draw the eye vertically rather than horizontally, creating a more elongated silhouette that flatters your body type. The ideal neckline for apple shapes is a V-neck that's not too deep, about 2 to 3 inches below your collarbone. This creates length and draws the eye vertically rather than horizontally across your body. Item 12. Busy floral print blouses that overwhelm your frame. Here's the shocking truth about busy floral prints that most women don't realise. They're absolutely devastating for apple shapes. Large, busy floral patterns create visual chaos that makes your midsection appear larger while overwhelming your entire frame. The problem with busy florals is they create multiple focal points across your torso, drawing attention to your widest area. When you have an apple shape, you want to minimise attention to your midsection, not highlight it with bold, busy patterns. Large floral prints also tend to distort when they stretch across your tummy area. What might look like beautiful roses on the hanger can become stretched and distorted when worn, creating an unflattering effect that emphasises your curves in all the wrong ways. The multiple colours in busy floral prints can also be overwhelming, especially if you're petite or have shorter legs. The visual weight of the pattern can make you appear smaller and more compressed. Even worse, busy florals often come in lightweight, clingy fabrics that compound the problem by moulding to your body while creating visual chaos. The combination of busy patterns and clingy fabric is a double disaster for apple shapes. Here's the pattern principle: small, subtle prints or solid colours that create a more streamlined, sophisticated appearance. If you love florals, opt for smaller, more delicate patterns in muted colours. Think tiny ditzy prints or watercolour-style florals that create interest without overwhelming your frame. The rule of thumb for apple shapes is this: if the print is larger than your fist, it's too big for your body type. Small, delicate patterns in tonal colours work beautifully, while large, contrasting prints will overwhelm your frame and emphasise your midsection. Item 13. Wrap blouses that gap and pull. While wrap styles can be flattering in theory, most wrap blouses are problematic for apple shapes because they gap open across the bust and pull tight across the tummy area. The wrap closure rarely stays in place, creating an unflattering and uncomfortable fit. The issue with wrap blouses is they're designed for a specific body type, one with a smaller bust and defined waist. When you have an apple shape with a fuller bust and midsection, the wrap closure can't accommodate your proportions properly. The ties on wrap blouses also create a horizontal line across your body at exactly the wrong spot, your natural waist, which is often your widest point. This draws attention to your midsection while creating an unflattering gathered effect. Wrap blouses also tend to shift and move throughout the day, requiring constant adjustment. This creates an unkempt appearance that doesn't project the polished, sophisticated image you want. The secure alternative: blouses with more structured closures like buttons or zippers that stay in place and provide a more secure, flattering fit for your apple shape. Look for faux wrap styles that have the appearance of a wrap but with secure side closures that won't gap or shift. If you love the wrap look, search for faux wrap blouses that have the appearance of a wrap but are actually constructed with side seams and a more secure closure. These give you the flattering V neckline of a wrap without the fitting issues. Item 14. Stiff cotton blouses that don't drape. Stiff cotton blouses, particularly those made from heavy Oxford cloth or rigid poplin, don't drape well over apple shapes. The inflexible fabric stands away from your body, creating a boxy, unflattering silhouette that adds bulk to your midsection. The problem with stiff fabrics is they don't conform to your body's curves in a flattering way. Rather than skimming over your silhouette gracefully, they create a rigid, structured shape that can make you appear larger and more angular. Stiff cotton blouses also tend to wrinkle easily, creating additional texture and visual interest in areas where you want to minimize attention. The wrinkles can create unflattering shadows and lines across your tummy area. The structured nature of these fabrics also means they don't move with your body, creating an uncomfortable and unflattering fit that restricts your movement while emphasizing your midsection. Fabric upgrade: softer, more drapeable fabrics like silk, rayon, or soft cotton, blends that skim your body beautifully while providing comfort and movement. These fabrics have enough structure to look polished, but enough drape to flatter your curves naturally. The best fabrics for apple shapes have enough structure to maintain their shape, but enough drape to skim over your curves gracefully. Look for fabrics with a slight stretch or natural drape that moves with your body. Cotton modal blends, silk crepe, and soft ponte knits are excellent choices that provide both structure and comfort. Item 15. Embellished blouses that draw attention to your middle. Blouses with embellishments like sequins, beading, or embroidery across the front are particularly unflattering for apple shapes because they draw attention directly to your midsection. The sparkle and texture create focal points exactly where you don't want them. Embellishments also add physical bulk to your torso, making your midsection appear larger and more prominent. The raised texture of beading or sequins can create unflattering shadows and highlights that emphasize your curves. The reflective nature of many embellishments also catches light in ways that can be unflattering, creating bright spots across your tummy area that draw the eye directly to your widest point. Embellished blouses also tend to be more formal and structured, which can create a stiff, uncomfortable fit that doesn't flatter apple shapes. The combination of embellishments and structure creates a look that's both overwhelming and unflattering. The sophisticated approach: minimal and strategic embellishments that don't overwhelm your frame or draw attention to your midsection. If you want sparkle, choose blouses with subtle metallic threads woven into the fabric or small, delicate details at the neckline or cuffs rather than across the front. If you want some sparkle or texture, look for blouses with embellishments on the sleeves, neckline, or shoulders, areas that draw attention upward rather than to your midsection. A touch of beading at the neckline or subtle metallic threading can add elegance without overwhelming your frame. Item 16. Cap sleeve blouses that cut off your arms. Cap sleeves are particularly unflattering for apple shapes because they create a horizontal line across your upper arms while providing no coverage for areas you might want to minimize. The short sleeves can make your arms appear larger while creating an unflattering proportion. The problem with cap sleeves is they hit at the widest part of your upper arm, creating a cutting effect that makes your arms appear shorter and fuller. This is particularly problematic if you carry weight in your upper arms. Cap sleeves also create a horizontal line across your body at shoulder level, which can make your torso appear wider and more prominent. When you have an apple shape, you want to create vertical lines that elongate your silhouette. The tight fit of most cap sleeves can also be uncomfortable and restrictive, creating pulling and stretching across your upper body that's both unflattering and uncomfortable. The flattering sleeve length, 3/4 sleeves or full sleeves that provide better coverage and create a more flattering line for your apple shape. 3/4 sleeves are particularly flattering because they hit at the narrowest part of your forearm, creating a slimming effect while providing coverage for your upper arms. The most flattering sleeve length for apple shapes is 3/4 length, which hits just below your elbow. This creates a vertical line that elongates your arm while providing coverage for your upper arms. It's also incredibly versatile and works for both casual and professional settings. Item 17. Tunic blouses that make you look shapeless. Long tunic blouses might seem like a safe choice for apple shapes, but they often create a shapeless, unflattering silhouette that makes you appear larger than you are. The excessive length can overwhelm your frame while eliminating any waist definition. The problem with tunics is they often fall at an unflattering length, too long to be a regular blouse but too short to be a dress. This awkward length can make your legs appear even shorter while creating an unbalanced proportion. Tunics also tend to be loose and flowing, which can add visual weight to your frame while providing no structure or shape. The excess fabric can make you appear larger and more shapeless than you actually are. The casual nature of most tunic styles can also make you appear less polished and put together, which doesn't project the sophisticated image you want to convey. Perfect proportions, blouses that hit at your hip bone or just below, creating a more flattering proportion that doesn't overwhelm your frame while maintaining a polished, sophisticated appearance. This length provides coverage without drowning your silhouette and creates the perfect balance for apple shapes with shorter legs. The key is finding the perfect length that creates balance, long enough to skim over your tummy area, but not so long that it overwhelms your proportions or makes your legs appear shorter. The ideal length hits just at or slightly below your hip bone, creating a flattering silhouette that elongates your legs while providing the coverage you want. There you have it, 17 blouse styles that are sabotaging your apple-shaped silhouette. Remember, the right blouse should skim your body gracefully, create vertical lines and flatter your proportions. Which of these mistakes have you been making? Share your biggest revelation in the comments below and check out one of the 2 videos on your screen now.